Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in, hanging out. Today we're jumping into this. As you've seen in the last episode, I put an engine together. So it's nothing fancy, it's just a nice little 1600 that should hopefully motor this thing a little bit should motor this thing on a little bit quicker than it has been, and I might be able to keep up with traffic, which would be really good. We're gonna rip this thing out. So all the parts and bits and pieces, fan housing and this distributor and bits and pieces, I need off this. So this has got to come out before I finish dressing the other engine, which it's not too bad. That way I can clean up all that stuff up I made when I got overspray on the whole engine. So gonna pull the rear door off, get it out of the way, open the hatch up, and get into it. So I've also got an update and a birthday for this rusty piece on the back, so hopefully we end up with a much nicer looking tail. And yeah, that's about it. Let's get into it, rip it out, and hopefully by the end of this episode I can have the other one, I can have all this torn down and it all on the other engine and ready to go. So let's jump into it. Okay, so just when everything's going so well, I dropped the oil filter, air filter in the oil. So they're in oil baths, they got a little bit of oil in them, draining it out, and so that's a bit annoying, but I'll back in a second. Here we go, we got her out. Fucking camera, you piece of shit ant. Sorry. There we go, all done. Yeah, I think the camera might have died. So it was 2:39, 2:36? One of the two, 36 minutes. Not too bad. I ended up waiting a little bit longer because the oil was draining, so I pulled the front tin off and the exhaust off. But she's looking good. It is dirty, as you can see. I didn't seal the engine bay well enough when I was painting, and it's everywhere up the back here too. So now I'm gonna rip everything off and clean it all up and chuck it on the new motor. So I have ended up pulling the engine out of the office, and I've now put it in engine stand, and it's looking nice. I chucked on the oil filter, I chucked on the oil cooler housing and oil cooler, just to seal it up, and then chuck some rags in here, and then I'm going to chuck some rags in here and call it a day. Here we are, after quite a bit of cleaning. I got the flywheel and everything ready to go over there. The rear tin piece, which I end up giving a really good clean. It's still got a bit of overspray on it, but it's much better than it was. A few little bits and pieces, the oil filter, the fuel block off. I got a new alternator stand. I ended up having these powder coated forever ago, before I thought I was going to go single port, but now we're going twin ports. We've got the big fellas and everything else. I got this one all nice and cleaned up. I think it's looking much better than it was, and all looking nice. I cleaned up the coil as well, gave it a little bit of a birthday, and we're looking good. So now the engine's back over here. I have everything where we left off last time. I'm gonna send the send the front pulley home with the bolt, chuck the distributor gear in, get all that sorted, and then we can start chucking some of this tinware on, and hopefully, actually I can't send that home yet because I've got to put this on second. Actually, before, I've got to chuck these two tin pieces on first, because this one goes over the top. So I'll pull the pulley off, pull that off, chuck these two tin pieces on, and get it all buttoned up, and then that be last piece, because they are a pain in the butt to remove, other than just before when I pulled it off and it was actually nice and easy. Previously on Brod's Beetle it was killer, and then we ended up having to use a different pulley because I bent the other two. So that was a bit painful, but yeah, let's get all this sorted. So I ran it out here all nicely, that way I can run the two oil cooler lines out this way and not have an issue. Okay, so a little bit of stupidness. There's a little washer that sits on the bottom of the distributor drive. I haven't got one to show you. But what I did was I stuck it on the bottom, and then as you go down, it gets stuck on the timing gear. So I just spent the last 20 minutes jiggling it about, got it out, got the washer off, put the washer on the bottom where it's meant to be, and then slid it in, and we're all looking pretty good. So now we're back onto, I'll put the distributor in, and I'll put the alternator stand on, and then we can put the top piece on. Okay, we're looking good. Flywheel's on. Ugga-duggered that one, and then torqued it, and then checked with the ugga-dugger, and the ugga-dugger went a little bit further. So, she FT. Everything else should be pretty good, I think. I hope. I just realized that this one has the, yeah, this one's got the little collar on the back, so you don't have to hold the nut in there, which would have been really good the other week with Brod's Beetle, but hey, it happens. That one I'll have to find a bolt for. This one I'm good for, and those two are good. So now I'll put a little bit of grease on the input shaft, because it's always good to have a bit of lube, and then we'll hopefully be able to slide it in with not too much trouble, and then we'll call that an episode. So let's give this a go. Okay guys, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to cut it here. I did think, actually, let's put this engine in, but I realized I have to modify the the manifolds. The carburetors I have ready to go and waiting, just about to film that, so that'll come in the next episode too, and hopefully we can get everything all together, put this engine in, and hopefully take it for a drive. So please stay tuned, let us know how you think everything's going down below, and I'll see you next fortnight. Thanks guys.